Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another little episode of Overdose and Chill. And today we are catching up with Patrick from Cygnet Perfumery, and we're going to be doing a bit of our live audit dive with Jason on the search and Vinny looking at some of the PPC stuff. I've been avoiding doing chills for the last month because I had a shocking moustache that was growing on my top lip. I look like Clark Gable, but without the other features of Clark Gable. Right, so I'm back on here. Patrick, welcome. Love to hear just before we dive into some of the funkier pieces of behind the scenes that the guys have dug out for you. Would love just to hear a little bit of the story behind Cygnet and how you got to where you are and where you're trying to get to, my friend.
Cygnet Perfumery is my fiance's passion. She's been making skincare and scent since she was a little child, and this year, February this year, she launched, and by connection we launched, and it started off as a slow-made skincare scent perfumery, botanical extract to perfume, and that's how she's approached it throughout the year. And throughout this year being locked down, people have really found it an experience because they've been able to escape into a bottle. It's been a genie in a bottle. She makes her perfumes based on landscape and experience, and that's how she tells the story. That's how people receive it and be able to put on their own experience from that. And because it's been received so well, and because she's always made skincare, she's decided to launch in a couple of weeks a similar theme, but for skincare. So it's microbiome friendly skincare, regenerative skincare. Wow. And the whole idea, yeah. So it's been a bit of fun, but it's a life passion of hers, and she's got me on board to try and get a better sense of some of the analytics and behind the scenes. She does all the formulating and everything else. She's the face. She's got a lot better face than me, so sorry, everyone, that I'm here.
So Patrick, did this start as like a market stall, or was it a digital first? What was the approach to just breaking into the market and getting it in people's hands?
The approach was we had a launch party at Sister Studios in Fitzroy, and it's been an e-commerce site mainly, and that's haphazard. It focused on targeted business, but because of COVID, that's why we really wanted to have a chat with you guys and just hear some amazing response, just people's response and how much they connect with it. And it's purely been through Instagram. If you haven't got any ads, I've jumped on. I'm still thinking of taking a couple of breaths, so I hope there's some stuff for you guys to give us feedback on, a few leads and a few pearls of wisdom, but yeah, mainly Instagram.
Mean. Alrighty, I was having a bit of sound break up there. Was everyone else okay? That might be my crappy New Zealand internet. It was just me.
No, good. Break up.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's hope the NBN stays alive for the next half an hour. Right, so going to hand over to Vinny first of all. Your PPC is obviously pretty new, so this is going to be sort of the lighter part of things, Patrick, and then Jay's going to dive in after that. So I'm going to flick over to this, and with the power of technology, I will start tapping through these pieces. And the floor is yours, Vinny.
Thanks very much, Todd. So my name is Vincent. I'm one of the performance marketing directors here at Overdose, and what we've done here is just have a bit of a look around through the Google Ads account that you guys have been running, and understanding that it is very new and very fresh. It's very, in its very simplest form at the moment. So what we thought we'd do today is a little bit different than our normal approach, where instead of kind of digging into what you've been doing, we're going to just have a bit of a think about what is the best way to launch. So what are the kind of steps that you want to take when you are starting off a new brand, a new Google Ads account? What are some of the fundamental things that you need to think about doing from the start so that you can set yourself up for success and then get that revenue and return on ad spend growing, so you can start scaling the spend up and turning it into a really powerful channel for the business. So just to let everyone know, at the moment there's just two campaigns running within the account. There's a display campaign, so using the Google Display Network, showcasing those kind of visual ads, those banner type ads, and then there's a smart campaign. So Google's got these tools now where they'll kind of take a lot of the work away from you and say, we'll just create a campaign based upon your website. We'll build the keyword lists. We'll write the ads, and you just have to pay us, and we'll show you ads there as well. So these are good, quick ways to get up there and to be seen. But in terms of really taking it to the next step, we find that maybe they're not the right fundamental campaigns that you want to have in the mix to get started there, because they don't really provide as much transparency, and for getting the first few sales on the board, it might be a little bit difficult with these types of campaigns here. So today we're just going to run through that preliminary look at what does the first kind of 3 to 4 months look like for a campaign. What are some of the considerations of your keyword approach and your targeting, given that it is quite a bespoke brand as well. First and foremost, on this screenshot here, we've just got the fundamentals here is we really need to connect up Google Ads to Google Analytics to get your conversion data flowing through. So at the moment, it didn't look like the analytics was actually connected up to the right profile, just wasn't really getting the right conversion data flowing through there. Having conversion data in an account is so critical to really understand the kind of cause and effect of the advertising and the actual outcome and the revenue coming through there as well. Not only that, when we do connect up analytics to Google Ads, it does allow us to actually import in things like user experience metrics like bounce rate, average pages per session, average session duration. We can see that at each of the keyword levels, and that's the type of precursor metrics we want to understand as well when we're looking at people's user experience. If they type in a particular keyword, click on your ad, and then bounce, then that's a strong signal to us that the targeting might not be quite right. And then, on this grab here, this is just a look at how we import conversion data from Google Analytics. There's a couple of different ways to set up conversion tracking. If you've already got analytics all firing, then it is an easy way to go through there to within the Google Ads account, you can import all of that conversion data through into Google Analytics. And then on the next page, we've just got a little bit of a decision on this really fun topic called attribution. So this is when we're having to think about when we actually set up a campaign for the first time. Google does a lot of default things, and by default, Google's going to set up our attribution as last click, which basically means that whatever the last interaction was on that customer journey, that's what gets the credit. That's what we see as being the driver of that conversion. However, customer journeys are a bit more complex than that. Especially we're looking at a new brand where we've got a big education piece in the middle. We've got to tell people about the brand story. It's likely that people are going to have maybe 3, 4, even 5 sessions before they actually transact. It's going to be more unlikely that they're out there looking for perfume or a bespoke fragrance and then transact in that session. So when we're starting out, we want to actually probably choose a position-based attribution model. And what this does is it tells us all of the interactions that have happened along the way. So we might discover that someone who discovers your brand, they discover it when they're looking for, artisan or handmade perfume. And then, after a week, once they've done a bit of research and decided that they're ready to transact, maybe it's for a Christmas present or something like that, then they finally transact. But this position-based attribution model tells us then that the person initially clicked on handmade perfume, and you'll get conversion data coming in for those terms, and then we can start to value those terms and start to actually understand that they're the terms that are starting off your customer journeys more often than not. And that's our kind of basis of how we optimize the account and how we can change our strategy over time. So once the account is running, there are some other attributions model to use, but position-based is a really good one when you're starting out. The customer journey is really complex in all kinds of e-commerce. I think particularly in your case, you're going to find that people do have these multiple touch points where they They're discovering through awareness type campaigns and awareness type practices. They're really trying to engage with social media pages that you're running, understanding the brands, the brand values, and then, really looking at some of those price point, shipping term kind of aspects that might be the deciding point for them as well. So we really want to kind of take a step back and really think, how do we, view this whole piece? How do we understand the customer journey? And how do we market towards that so that we're really driving the right type of traffic through to the site as well? And using all of those signals that we get along the way to inform how we pivot and how we move the strategy after that. Next one. So just having a quick look, this is what Google is showing us through the Smart campaign. And one of the areas that the Smart campaign can be a little bit tricky to control is things like the ad copy. So at the moment, you can see there those two site link extensions that have popped up. Just not really, it's Google basically just pulling information from your website. They don't quite read correctly. The FAQ section says botanical perfumery is the art of, so it's just the case of when we do build out everything from scratch in a more customized way, it means that we can control the brand messaging, make sure that everything reads a bit better, and we can really think about what the values of your brand are and make sure that's reflected through the ads. In and amongst your competition and in this space, the whole idea of your ads is going to be, how do you cut through? How do you represent your brand? How do you let people know who don't, haven't discovered you before, that if they click onto your site, they're going to be given something that is really bespoke, really curated, because you don't want to necessarily waste money on someone who's just looking for something they can get at Chemist Warehouse for a Christmas present, Shane Warne's latest perfume or something like that. You want it to be someone who's got this idea of, this is tailored, handmade, well thought out, and that's the person you want to be spending your money on. And this is the way to ensure that you can cut through there.
Sorry, Vinny, can't let that pass. Are you telling me that Shane Warne's got his own perfume?
Oh yeah, he does. Is that
really?
That's going to be a Christmas present from us now, Todd? I think we've got a bottle lined up for you. I don't know if it's called Warning.
Wow. There you go. Sorry, mate. Derailing you.
All good, all good. So yeah, this is kind of how people are going to interact with you, and moving away from those Smart campaigns is going to give you the ability to write these ads up and make sure that they're all nice and representative of your brand at the end of the day. So looking at the site, really nice layout site. I think the branding's there, the product's really intriguing. There's a lot of information available. One of the things when you think about how to structure the campaigns is to go back to your website and think, can I use what's available on the site as our foundational structure? How do I kind of build out maybe like a skincare campaign versus the perfume campaign? And that way you can control your budgets, you can control your, you can get a better high level idea of what the results look like. And then you can start to really, use that as your foundation to grow that revenue and to start understanding what's really working well for your business. Onto the next page, we've got a look at your product pages there. Really great description. So there's already a lot of thought that's gone into all of the copywriting and all of the content on the site, which is really good. So this is, looking at the ads approach again, this is where you'd want to start to kind of dig into pulling out some of these areas and think, how do I kind of translate this into what's important for the business there? Lots of information here that you'd use for your keyword research as well. So all of the different types of ingredients and all these different aspects that go into making the perfumes would be a really important part of the campaign. And a little look here at what we would kind of consider to be your 3 foundational blocks here. So this is what we would look at running in this first phase of the campaign starting up. Google Shopping is a really fundamental campaign type. So this is what produces those little image ads at the top of Google search, where you might have different brands and products appearing. A lot of our a lot of our clients are probably spending about half their advertising budget on Google Shopping. There's that much revenue going through there now. It's a really, really high converting channel. So definitely look at getting that set up. You'd want to do things like optimize your product titles and descriptions in the feed so that it is more tailored towards that more considered customer and not someone who's looking just for some cheap and nasty perfume. And then you also think about maybe adding in some negative keywords there for those types of irrelevant terms. So you might add in things like cheap or budget. What are some of the things that you don't really want to appear for? So that would be, we've kind of broken this down into like thirds. So you could almost look at splitting your budget out to begin with in these 3 blocks pretty evenly. In the middle there, this is probably where you see a lot of your benefit and your direct results is a campaign all about specialty terms. So the bespokes, artisan, perfume, anything that is really showcasing that the user is considered, they know what they're looking for, and you've got the right product for them. And then finally down the bottom, we would look at how we can start playing into some of those generic spaces. This is good to start building that brand awareness and to start kind of growing outside of that specialty group, starting to think about, can we play in those more, broader generic places for perfume, fragrances, premium scents, anything that you feel like would be, a step towards that bigger market there. Ultimately, you want to be able to play in that big market. It's just a case of working out what is suitable and what's not suitable. And it's good to start testing as soon as it's possible to do so.
And what are you looking for there? That's really good, Vinny. What are you looking for in that last serve in terms of developing that and getting it into that mainstream market? I suppose you're just trying to get your metrics aligned and the wording, such as perfume, fragrance, and see what hits best, or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a combination of getting the ad copy really nicely tweaked for those audiences, making sure people are aware, your price point and things like that you exist more in that luxury space. That, ultimately, this should be part of a greater digital marketing strategy where you might have a really nice tailored Facebook or Instagram remarketing campaign set up so that someone comes to the website looking for perfume. Then when they're on Instagram later in the day, they see your, nice Insta story video content that really captures their attention and showcases what the brand's all about. So it is, it's usually kind of taking a few different steps, putting them all into conjunction with one another to get that outcome. And this is just a really important way, because what we see, one of the big values here is that this is purchase intent traffic. This is people who actively are looking for something. Sometimes it might take them a few goes to understand or to connect and to realize that you've got what they are really looking for. But it is good to make sure that type of traffic's coming through to the website at all times.
Hey, Vinny.
Sorry, how do you link up? So is there a way to link up the Google and your socials ad spend or your ad generation? Does Google know who's been visiting your Facebook or Instagram or vice versa?
Yeah, you can't actually get the cross-platform analytics. Google won't know how many people have been on Instagram, but we use what's called UTM tracking to make sure that someone who clicks on an Instagram ad is really well identified within the Google Analytics platform. And that's one of the ways we can try and connect the dots up a little bit more. But yeah, it's definitely important to make sure you've got kind of both of those pillars working well together.
Vinny, I've got a couple of questions for you. So
yep.
Just going back up to the product imagery, I'm assuming, Patrick, you've just shot these at home to the best of your abilities. When you're pushing this product imagery out into Google shopping feeds, is there best practices there for whether these should be?
Just so you know, if Todd's on there, I can't hear Todd. If Todd's speaking, I can't hear anything Todd's saying.
I can hear Todd. I'm not sure where the link's dropped out, but I can hear. And to answer the question there about the best practices for Google Shopping, going more for that really clean white background look is one of the best practices of Google Shopping. However, we have seen more in the last kind of 6 to 12 months, there has been a little bit more diversity in what people are doing in that space. And at the end of the day, it should be, up to the advertiser to test what works well for the brand. And we can always conduct kind of, A/B tests running a certain type of image for, a set of products or a set of time, and then switch over to another look. Because I think if you do have a look through Google Shopping at the moment, it traditionally was just every product on a white background. But even in some of the other verticals like furniture or fashion, there's a lot more diversity in what people are choosing to put up there. And, the results should be around what's the click-through rate like, how are people engaging, and, do we have an advantage in looking a bit different at the end of the day rather than looking like the same as everyone else?
Is that something you can actually...
Good question that I can't hear, Todd, but I like it, because we've been thinking about that. One of Cygnet's big components is trying to add, I suppose, the artistic element and partnering with a lot of artists and trying to bring the surreal to the scent. And so some of the product images could be really fun to play with there. But we have been pretty timid when looking at it, whether to put them in there in terms of how they sit with everything else.
I know Patrick can't hear me. I think you can, Vinny. Is that something you can actually split test on Google Shopping to send up 2 different variants of images?
You wouldn't be able to do it on the spot. So it would be kind of maybe not the truest sense of a split test, because you wouldn't be kind of controlling that 50-50 delivery in parallel. But you could do, a little bit of a, quick and dirty approach to get some big metrics from it by maybe running it one month, run it with particular product imagery, the next month run it with the other product imagery, and see if there is some big deviation between those two. Or even you could choose one set of products at the same time within the catalog. You could choose X types of perfume are this, and then other perfumes are that, and you could compare at the end of the month. So there is enough data points out there to establish if there are any noticeable changes within that space. And absolutely, it's a good thing to always be looking and testing through.
Very cool. Thank you, mate.
No worries. And then just onto that final slide here, looking at, what that period of 4 months might look like for setting up a really nice foundational campaign in month 1. So having those 3 areas all set up, making sure Google Shopping feeds are all good. And then, in the basic terms, we're in a launch and measure part of the campaign where we don't necessarily want to be touching too much. We want to be observing, letting the data accumulate, really starting to understand what the trends are looking like within the performance in that space. Getting into month 2, a really deep dive of analysis, optimization of the campaigns, making sure that we're, really understanding what your baseline conversion rate and return on ad spend is looking like. Removing underperformers, so being pretty aggressive in taking out things that might be wasting spend and not contributing to a good result. Month 3 would be more around further refinements, starting to look at adding and expanding your keyword strategy, reviewing your ad copy, testing what we're just talking about, maybe starting to do some split tests on different parts of the campaigns to understand the audience preference of certain ads or imagery. And then finally, month 4, this would be a big review, really looking at what have we been able to achieve in that time? What are the results looking like? What's our strategy for the next phase? Can we scale up? Are we happy with our profit margins and our returns? And if not, what do we have to do about that? So this is kind of what we would look at and suggest Cygnet have a go at for that first 4 months of activity, and then you'd be in a really strong place to kind of crack on to the next phase from there.
Very cool. I'm not sure if you can hear me now.
Thanks, Vinny.
So I don't think Patrick can hear me. I might need to add and remove myself from the stream. But Jason, we will kick off into your world, champ.
Cool. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right, sweet. Cool. So shifting gears a little bit, now we're talking about the SEO side of things. So paid or PPC is about pay to play. You pay whatever you want to be you're willing to pay at the cost per click level, and your ads will appear. So SEO is the complete opposite, where it's completely organic and you rely on the architecture of your website, the keywords that you use, and the content that you write to rank pages and get the website ranking for the target keywords that you want. So the way SEO works is it's like building a house. You know, you need to have a solid foundation before you put on the pillars and then before you put on the roof. So one of the core foundations of SEO is identifying the right keyword for Cygnet to be gunning for, and the right keywords for Cygnet to be ranking for as well. So once we identify that, then we can then apply those optimization methods to those different pillars of SEO. So today, what I've done is I've sort of critiqued the website based on all these core pillars of SEO here. Next slide, Todd, please. So what you're looking here is the overall SEO visibility of Cygnet. So the brand hasn't been around for a very long time. Even when I looked into Google Analytics, you've only got organic traffic flowing through as of 4 weeks ago. So
yeah, that was a frustrating thing. I couldn't figure out. We were running Wizard in the back. It was like a plugin through WordPress, and I couldn't figure out how to get their data into Google Analytics. It's a Google Analytics plugin for WordPress, but it didn't carry over. So sorry about that.
Interesting. No, you're right. But yeah, just looking, the tool that we use here for full transparency purposes is we use SEMrush. So SEMrush has data for any website on the internet by country. So here I looked at Cygnet and how it's performed in the last 12 months. As you can see there, so the website is only currently ranking for 11 keywords in google.com.au. So that's how you read the number. But what you have here is you can see clear progressions of growth, slowly but surely it's getting there. So today, hopefully, some of the tips I'll be giving you will help you accelerate that and get you guys ranking for more and more keywords. Now, the little Venn diagram or the little bubble chart that you see on the right-hand side over there is the same data, but being represented differently against some of your competitors, which you've emailed them through. So again, Cygnet is a small little bubble right down there, the blue bubble on the side, right at the bottom there, and the big one there is, once I send this slide deck to you, I'll remove I guess the redaction, is you can see some of your competitors are extremely huge. So they rank for about 900 plus keywords. So you have a lot of catching up to do. And the beauty with SEMrush is you get to see the type of keywords that they are optimizing for and ranking for. And then you get to sort of spy on what they're doing and then sort of change up the tactics to be your own and optimize your website accordingly there too. So that's this is just for me to have a feel of what you guys are doing and how you guys are doing right now. Now, speaking about keywords, I found it very hard to find a keyword that would summarize what you guys do. I know slow perfume or slow making skincare is a thing, but the search volume surrounding that, I don't think the mass market is adapted to that yet. So I don't think they know what slow means. Even I didn't know what slow means. So I think some of the keywords that we should be targeting on your homepage and the rest of the website is, to Vinny's point, artisan, natural, organic, which is some of the keywords that you are using within your copywriting, right? Using only natural and organic ingredients, targeting things like natural fragrances, natural scents, organic skincare, which is exactly what you guys are doing. So I think identifying what is, I guess Cygnet is very, not just niche, it's very micro niche, is a niche within a niche. So I think we need to look one level upwards, where what is the set of keywords that would best describe what you guys have to offer, the products that you have, that the mass market will understand. Because I think slow making isn't a mass consumer used term at this point in time. So if you go back to the previous slide, Todd, please. So here we've got a lot of different keyword research tools out there. There's a lot of tools that you can pay. Some are free, some are cheap, some are more expensive. But all they do is exactly the same thing. You can see from the table there. I'm not sure if it's super clear to you, but let's just look at the first table. The keyword natural perfume The average search volume per month is 720. So how you will read that data is, any given month in google.com.au, someone will search for natural perfume, and that someone or the number of people that will be searching for that keyword on any given month is 720 times per month. So if you go super specific, more generic, like just women's perfume, the search volume would be like in the 50,000s or 100,000, right? So the more generic you get, the more a search volume that's available out there. But that also means that it's going to be more competitive as well.
Yeah, how do you balance that competitiveness when you're, I suppose, positioning as a very niche product to begin with? Like, what should you be going for?
Exactly. So I would be gunning for those, like these keywords here that I've sort of showed you here: natural perfume, organic perfume, lower search volume. But you are not a volume-based brand, right? You don't want to be selling millions and millions of bottles. You're micro, you're slow. You want to, do the orders that you can handle. So I think if you pick your battles, this is the most common question that I get asked when I work with a lot of fashion clients. Everyone wants to rank #1 for dresses, right? But are you going to be able to compete with the Iconic? Are you going to be able to compete with other bigger brands? If the answer is no, then no. Pick the right keywords that's suitable, that is less competitive, and you know that you're going to target the right audience, because if you go, I want to rank #1 for perfume, that's way too generic. And the people who come and land, let's just say hypothetically, we get them landing onto the website using the keyword perfume. They still don't know what you guys do, the process. So you want to be targeting people who are ready to convert, who have heard about you, learn about the slow making process of perfume and its benefits. Those are the sweet spot. One click, go to the website, add to cart, check out, they're hot. So I think it's picking the right keywords. Don't go too competitive. Start at the bottom and work your way up. Next slide, Todd. So a bit of a tip here for you. Keywords Everywhere is a cool little browser plugin. It's inexpensive. It's $10 and it gives you, I think, 100,000 credits. So whilst you're browsing and doing your competitor research and looking for the right keywords, you literally just do a search in Google and it will tell you the search volume next to it, to the keyword, and you can export out the data there. So it's very a cool and inexpensive way to trying to figure out, how should I name my next product? I know you have some cool, funky names, but what can I make it? How can I name the next set of products, like a skincare brand which you're launching? What are the keywords that I should be using for the homepage, the new branding, the new collection, and the products that you'll be creating as well? Next slide, Todd. Here we look at technical. So by the sounds of things, it sounded like the website was DIY. You've built that with Elementor. I can see it's a WooCommerce and WordPress combination. I think you've done a good job. The website is nice and clean. The code base is also nice and clean. Go to the next slide, Todd, please. But there's something fundamental missing from your current website. So it's currently missing what we call structured data. So structured data, or schema tags, as some people would call it, they help trigger what we call rich snippets, which is, you see an example here for Salt and Glow Elixir, star ratings, prices, whether the product's in stock, not in stock. This is just going to enrich your listings in Google, and also helps Google with discovery of content, so that they know that you have a product to sell. I'm going to crawl more effectively. I'm going to index you accordingly. I'm going to serve and rank you accordingly as well when someone searches for a product. So unfortunately, with WordPress, it is super flexible. And sometimes if you don't pick the right plugins or install the right plugins, this is not looked after for you, which is the case at the moment. So you've just picked the wrong plugin.
So with
in terms of theme, or just the wrong plugin in terms of?
Just the wrong plugin to power this functionality on the site. Sorry, Todd, you have something?
So when you enable rich snippets, is that just a case of it's showing more data, or does Google reward you for giving it more data as well?
There's no direct correlation to if you mark up your website with structured data or schema tags that you're going to get a ranking boost. That is not the case. So things like that happen in the background. The benefits are subtle. It helps with content discovery. If you think about, I don't know if you guys have submitted your business to Yellow Pages before, right? Back in the day when you want to list your business on Yellow Pages, they get you to fill in a form and you have to specifically fill it in block text in black pen. Why? It's because it goes through a machine, scans it, and puts it into the system. Same like when you do your taxes, you have to use black pen and you have to tick, not cross, and that kind of shit, right? So it's the same thing with Google. When you arrange your website data in a way that is easily scannable, that Google can just crawl the website and go, man, this guy's selling a product and it's perfume and the price is 50 USD and they have it in stock and they have five-star reviews, bang. That's how you trigger that. So it does have added benefits of click-through rate, because if you have a rich snippet like that, then people will tend to, your eyes will tend to be drawn to, oh, that guy has five-star reviews. Maybe they're onto something. I'm going to click through and find out. So yeah, those are probably the, I guess, the fringe benefits of having structured data. Now, this problem is easy to fix, Patrick. I have some recommendations there in the next couple of slides. So if you move on to the next one, Todd. So another problem that I've discovered with your Google Search Console is you have an XML sitemap, but you have not submitted it to Google. So the XML sitemap is like your directory to your website. It lists all your images, all your products, all your pages into a XML file, and you basically submit that to Google and tell Google that, hey Google, here are my list of pages. Can you please crawl them and index them accordingly? So it just helps them to discover content quickly and index your website much quicker as well. So there's an easy fix. Just go to find out your XML sitemap link, which is in your robots.txt file, and then quite literally copy and paste the XML sitemap link and paste it in here.
Oh, so you just copy and paste it in that last bit there after the sitemap.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. So that's a because I'm not admin, it doesn't give me that the submit button, but for you there should be a submit button there.
Beautiful.
Cool. And then moving on to the next one, page speed is super important. So Google is moving towards what we call a mobile first approach. That means, I don't know if you look at your analytics, a lot of people now search on mobiles. They don't really do their research or purchase stuff on desktops or laptops anymore. So the speed of your website is super important, because there's an interesting stat. If you don't capture and your website doesn't load in 3 seconds, you've already lost a customer. So the slower your website, the slower that the users will take to transact on your website. So you want things to load really quickly. So here's a screenshot of the homepage on Google PageSpeed Insights. Now the scoring here is quite brutal, 18 out of 100, but it's all easily fixed. You know, WordPress is very robust. There's a lot of plugins that you can install to help facilitate this. Next slide, please, Todd. Another issue that I found with the site is you're not utilizing the tags that you have at your disposal correctly. So on your homepage, your current title tag says Cygnet Perfumery, Slow Scent, and Skincare, and you actually have not nominated a meta description for the homepage. So a better way to utilize those tags is I've written up one at the bottom there to go slow perfumes, fragrances, and skincare, Cygnet Perfumery. Extract each extract the perfume is released exclusively once a year. So you're communicating the uniqueness of the product, the handmade element of the product. You're communicating luxury, you're communicating intent. More importantly, you are targeting keywords within the title tag. So you can see underneath there, I've targeted slow perfumes, fragrances, and skincare. So whether that's the right keyword or not, I'm not too sure. You might want to go natural and organic perfumes and fragrances in Australia, for example. So there is a limit though. The title tag shouldn't be longer than 70 characters. and the meta description should be no longer than 155 characters. I'm going to recommend you a plugin to install in WordPress that's going to help you with this, and hopefully that will help smooth things over. Next slide, please, Todd. So here are the WordPress plugins I would recommend you install. Yoast is probably the standard for any WordPress website, but not the free version though. I do encourage you to pay and purchase this WooCommerce SEO plugin that they have, because that will help roll out those rich snippets and those structured data stuff, which I touched on before, and follow the instructions that they have in terms of the setup, and you'll be well on your way. So they will prompt you to go, hey, your title tag is under the indexing limit, or you have not used your target keywords in there. Please do so. Your title, your description tag is too short. Please expand it a little bit more. So it has those little hints and prompts for you, and they have a kick-ass tutorial on their website as well that you can just step-by-step follow. So that is probably by far the best investment for you right now, is to pay for this plugin. It's only like, what's that, $50 once off USD. Pay for it. It's an investment. It will save you a lot of time and effort. Now, the next plugin I recommend you install is WP Rocket. That is going to speed up the speed of your website in terms of loading. It introduces what we call caching. So caching is whenever a user comes onto the website, it uses the browser's cache to serve the page, so it's quicker instead of loading all the elements all at once. So WP Rocket does a really good job. Again, very robust tutorial. Literally follow the instructions, click, 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 and then boom, your website will be at least twice as fast as what it is at the moment. It also gives you a lot of hints and ability to connect to what we call CDNs, so content delivery networks. Cloudflare is free. Again, just follow the instructions. You can sync it all up, and all of a sudden, your website will be sped up relatively rapidly. So CDNs, for your benefit, Patrick, it stands for Content Delivery Network, and it tends to serve only like images and big files. So CDNs own servers all around the world. You might have a server down in the peninsula near you as well. So if someone searches for your website there and loads it up, it will request those assets from the peninsula server rather than all the way up to US where the website is hosted. Do you know what I mean? So it shortens the requests and loads up the pages quicker. Now, the next pillar of SEO is content. So I'm citing a research that's been done a couple of years ago of a bloke who researched 1 million Google search results. And what he found was there was a direct correlation between the amount of words available on a page. So if you're saying an article, the number of words the article has is relative to how far or how highly you can rank in Google. So bottom line is, the more text content that you can introduce to a website, the likelihood of you ranking higher in Google is better. So you guys have already done a really good job on your product page level. Your blogs are actually doing quite well too. Go to the next slide, Todd. So you made a good start with your journal or the blogging section. You're writing out of passion, which is a good thing. But I think you need to use those keyword tools and at the back of your mind, go, all right, I'm writing about this passion piece. What are the keywords that people would be typing into Google that would want to read this piece that I've written, right? So you need to make sure that you use those target keywords throughout the content piece. And again, to optimize your title tag, your description tag, your heading, so on and so forth. So continue to do what you're doing here with the blogs. I think it's good. More is not always better. So I can see you've sort of like gunning for one content piece a month, which is a good rhythm to have. So now going back to the depth of content that that contributes to the likelihood of you ranking higher, invest more in creating more longer, in-depth content pieces rather than short bite-sized pieces, if that makes sense. So evergreen content is a term that stands for content that has longevity and will consistently drive traffic to the website. You have one in there called Botanical Perfumery, a brief thing. So that's what I call evergreen. So here's an example of an evergreen content. I just, I was doing research for you. I was typing in, I didn't know what the AUDIT perfume and all the different EU means. I just did a search, and this guy's ranked #1 for it using this guide. It's basically a guide to fragrance strengths and types. So it's an impartial, non-salesy, educational piece about how different scents affect your senses, what are the different EUs, and then what the process is, the aging process and stuff like that. So I think you guys would be well and truly positioned to be writing something like this. I'm sure you can put the passion in and create better imagery and better illustrations to explain your craft. And just to show you the power of having something like that is this guy is currently ranked for about 1,000 keywords in Google, and it's estimated that they're getting about 1,000 sessions organically to that content piece per month on average. So you think about this one piece generating 1,000 sessions organically to the site now. If you create 5 more, that's 5,000. And if you convert those 5,000 into loyal subscribers and purchases, bang, you've got your bottom line sorted. So it's all about thinking about what is evergreen and what is something that you can use to communicate your passion and also educate users about your products and services there.
It's all written. Sorry, it's all written, isn't it? There's not a video piece there that has that similar effect. No, so it's all blogs.
Correct. It has to be text content. Having said that, though, you can start with text content, and then you can then further enrich it with a video so that you can use it for Facebook, can use it for Instagram. So it's one asset that is reusable into multiple channels. The last thing I want to touch on is links. Again, the same dude a couple of years ago did a big research, looked at 1 million Google search results, and what he found was there's also a direct correlation between the number of referring domains to where a page is ranking in Google. So a link is other websites linking to the Cygnet website. So you want to get a lot of other people, other brands, other websites talking about the brand, linking to the website. That is what is a popularity vote for Google, and is a very important signal for Google as well. The more links you have, that means, man, a lot of people are giving these guys a thumbs up. These guys must be doing something great. Let's rank them accordingly. So next slide, Todd. So here's some link building ideas for you. I know you guys are based in the Peninsula. I know the Peninsula is a very tight-knit community. There's a lot of regional and local business directories there. Find out who they are. Connect with those people. I'm sure there's a local chamber of commerce where you are as well. Join up, pay your $40 a year. They will have a directory on there that you can list, and sometimes they do features every month, local business features and stuff like that. Connect up with your local publications as well. Say, hey, we just launched this cool thing. We saw an increase in sales due to the pandemic. People want to connect with the outdoors a little bit more. Get someone to write up about you guys. And then when they do write up about you guys, just go, hey, can you link to our website too? I'm sure your target audience would love to, find out who we are and what we do and potentially buy from us as well. Join industry associations. You guys are locally made, handmade, organic, natural. There's a lot of those kind of associations that you can join. Australian made, where you get the little kangaroo logo, is one. It's a pay to play. You pay, you verify a business. It's Australian made. And boom, you get that. You get to be listed on your website with a link back to the site. It's also recognition, right? That, I'm proud of what I've done, and this is recognition I have, and here are all the qualifications that the brand has. There's a lot of retail associations. There's a lot of handmade associations, that kind of stuff. Find out who they are. Find out how to get involved. I mentioned creating partnerships with other local businesses. I'm not asking you to partner up with another handmade skincare brand, but other complementary brands. Can you partner up with local, spas and skincare therapists and stuff like that? Can you partner up with them to a conjoined exercise where you promote them, they promote you, you link to them, they link to you. So you help me out, I help you out, and then we do collaborative content pieces too. Like like you did with the interview with one of the fragrance experts on your blog. You could do the same, get them to blog about you, interview you on their website, and then link you to your website that way. Giving away free product is probably the best way to get third-party recognition that your product is the business. So identify who are your influencers. I heard at the start that you guys are quite active on Instagram. The trick is here, Instagram, whatever shout outs that you get on Instagram have no direct SEO value. You need to find out who are those Instagrammers who also have a blog and a website that would also do a shout out on their blog and their website, and then linking back to your website there too. This is a bit far-fetched. No, not far-fetched actually. Creating collaborations. So there's a lot of local peninsular celebrities or micro celebrities that live out there. Could you maybe hit them up on Instagram or slide in a DM to go, hey, we're local too. Do you want to do a collaboration? We'll sit down with you, create a scent with you, and then we'll market it together. We split the profits, 70-30 or whatever. Those are really good ways of promoting the brand and then leveraging the influence of the influencer. And then all of a sudden, bang, you start selling millions of bottles of scents there, which is a great way to amplify it. Yes, Todd.
Yeah. So Jay, for a lot of startups, we see that they pick up these. I don't know if you call it black hat or grey hat in your SEO world. Of we'll submit you to 1,000 directories for $20. Is that adding or detracting value because it's just getting your name in random places?
That is detracting value. So Todd was asking, a lot of small business owners, when they first start up, they get bought into, hey, I'll build you 1,000 links for $5. Or, you go to Fiverr.com, you pay $5 for a Filipino who is offshore, and he's going to promise you that's going to get you ranking in position 1 in no time. So those are what we call black hat techniques. So you have to, I guess, take a step back and stop and think about all the things that I've just covered here. What I've done here, all these tactics that I've provided here in this screenshot that you see here right now, it does 2 things. It promotes your brand legitimately. You can control the communication and the messaging of that, and you want to be on that website listed there. It's not about I've submitted your website to 1,000 websites, and all of a sudden you do a search and you go, Cygnet is submitted to a porn website and get a link back to the porn website. Do you want that for your brand and for your website? Probably not. So I think all of these things, when you approach link building, think about the branding element, think about influence, think about popularity. If I were to show my mum that, hey, I promoted my business and got it listed on this website, will you be proud and will she be proud? If the answer is yes, 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 you've done the right thing. You built the right link. The last thing there is do anything that you can to get the website mentioned on other websites and linking to the website. Sometimes it's all about asking. It's all about putting yourself out there, emailing Broadsheet, emailing Concrete Playground to go, hey, we're local made skincare and perfumery. We think we've got a story to tell. Here's our process. Here's my media kit. Can we talk? Can we get an interview? Can we get a feature? So sometimes if you don't ask, you don't get. I think that's all I have.
You covered a lot. Thanks a lot for giving us those insights and key tools. It's definitely a lot of nuggets to take away and for us to process and feedback into the nose herself, Sandrine Kehoe. I think it'll be really handy for us to move forward and hopefully grow in the right way. I think is key because we have limited capacity in the way we want to grow and the way Sandrine wants to grow. So thank you.
No worries.
Right, well, Patrick, I know you can't hear me, and I have no idea why, but everyone else can. So you can just nod along and assume that I'm talking. We'll wrap up there, guys. We will be back next week with some more new and interesting insights. Hit us up on LinkedIn if you want to get hold of us and get involved with this program. And hopefully you all got some, really little juicy takeaways off the back of that. So we'll love you and leave you. And we'll catch you soon. Stay safe, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for your time, Patrick.
Thank you, guys.